Hi guys, welcome to Azure Data Factory video series 2. Now we are discussing about the introduction parts of Azure Data Factory. And so far we have discussed what is an Azure Data Factory and how does it works and what is the use of Azure Data Factory, how can you manage the pipelines and how can you create the data flows. And so far we have discussed there are key points like pipelines, activities and data sets. And now we are coming to the link services. So what is a link service? This is the fourth topic is link services. Guys, I'm going to make a video. So how can we open Azure account, which is a free account, and I'll be sharing the link soon. So whoever wants to require this Azure portal, want to access how to see that, so please go to the link and try to access, try to create. If you have any problem, just comment on the section. Now coming to the link services. So what are link services? This is one of the important topic. So it's kind of linked services are much like connection strings. Okay, connection strings. So when you create a pipeline, so pipeline can contains number of services. Okay, number of services. That is, let's take one pipeline. Like this pipeline is always like this. So it will be, as I told you, interconnected. Okay, so there will be interconnectivity between the workflows. Now so what it defines is the connection information that needed for data factory to connect external resources. So think of this way. So linked services, how the way we can define is, so let's say why we wanted to connect to a data source and a data set represents the structure of the data. Okay, so let's talk in example manner. So for example, an Azure storage linked services specifies a connection string to connect Azure storage account and additionally Azure blob dataset. Specifies that blob container and folder that contains the data. Got it? So linked services are used for two purposes in data factory. One is to represent the data store that includes, but it's not limited to SQL Server database or Oracle database or file share. Okay, so Azure blob account for list of supported data storage. So we have the copy activity, copy activities there, so that I'll explain you. And to represent the compute resource that can host execution of an activity. So nothing to worry. I'll show you how it will work when it comes to the practical session. Then you will be it will be easy for you. Okay. So this is called linked services, and next is data flows. Okay. Linked services, data flows, and integration runtimes. Okay, got it. Now, integration runtime. Integration runtime. So in the data factory, let's say an activity defines that action to be performed. Okay. Now, what do? You usually define say link services, define the target data, store or compute the service. So an integration runtime provides a bridge between the activity and the linked services. You got my point or not? So what it will do is an integration runtime provides the bridge between the activity and the linked services. It is referenced by the linked service or activity. It's a simple manner, it's a one definition. So this way the activity can be performed in the region costless possible to target the data source. Okay. Now go to the triggers. So what is a trigger? Now what triggers represents the unit of processing that determine when a pipeline execution needs kicked off. So they are the different types of triggers for different type of events. Like pipeline runs and parameters and control flow and variables. Okay, let's talk about one by one. It's a simple thing. So what is a pipeline runs? Pipeline runs, and second is parameters. So what a pipeline run is an instance of pipeline execution. So pipeline runs typically initiated by passing the arguments to the parameters that are defined in the pipeline. The arguments can be passed manually within the trigger or within the trigger definition. Got it right? When you run a pipeline, you wanted to pass some parameters or pass some arguments that you can be passed manually, or you can put it in the trigger definition. And what are the parameters here? So parameters are key value pairs of a read-only configurations. Like the way we can define the parameter in the pipeline is the arguments for the particular defined parameters are passed during the execution from the run context that was created by a trigger or a pipeline that was executed manually. Okay, let's say a data set is strongly typed parameter and reusable or referenceable entity. An activity can be reference data set and consume the properties that are defined in the data set definition. So nothing to worry about these sentences. I'll definitely help you understand all these things when you start the practical sessions. Okay. Now the what is a variable? So coming to the variables can be used inside the pipelines to store temporary values and can be also the used in conjunction with the parameters to enable passing between the pipelines data flows. Okay, so this is called the basic introduction of data factory. Now, so what are the new things that are in the um, data factory? So this is not required for now. Like they have improved the data factory services. Okay, so it's ongoing base actually. So it's not required to no keep the flow. It's not required yearly wise. This will be now let's quick start. I'll show you how to create the data factory. So create a data factory using Azure portal and Azure Data Factory Studio. Okay, so prerequisite is first thing is, so when you want to create a prerequisite is okay, so now so Azure subscription. So if you don't have an Azure subscription, we can create a free account before you begin. So I'll tell you how to do that. Okay, nothing to worry. Now Azure storage account. Okay, now first what I have to do is you need to name your Azure storage account. For the quick start, the following procedure provides step by step the name of the storage account. Okay, now let's see, create the blob container. So let me take you to that. Just open your Azure. Okay, this is called your Azure. Now in this section we are going to create blob container named ADF tutorial in Azure blob storage. Okay, from the storage account page, select OU. Let me close this. Okay, fine. Now what I have to do is, from the storage account page, go to here. Let's see, click on storage accounts. Okay, now select overview. Okay, storage accounts. So I'm going to storage. I'm going to create a storage account. Okay, now before going to create the storage account, what I have to do is